Hello guys, Ryan Ho back with another video. Today we have the Finalmouse UltralightX Pro Tarik, or you can call it the Cloud 9 colors. I feel like they got free advertising because Tarik picked their colors, but that's pretty cool. This is their latest mouse from Finalmouse that has some improvements to both the mechanical parts, so the clicking has been improved. So exclusive to the Pro model, you get the Juana Blue Shell switches, which are super bend. They say that I think they picked like 1 out of 12. So they're kind of picked specifically for not double clicking and for the quality. So, I mean, I guess that's good to hear. And then the second thing is the coating on the mouse is supposed to be improved and grippier. So we'll be kind of talking about that as well. All right, so taking a closer look at this mouse, it has a really cool colorway, right? So you got this nice blue, light blue, and this white contrast. You can really tell that this mouse is the Finalmouse UltralightX from far away, just because the colorway is very unique, especially in a sea of like black and white mouse. This definitely stands out. So this has obviously some improvements, but at the same time, it is still the same shape. This is the medium-sized model that I have right here. And honestly, performance-wise, this thing just feels amazing. It's really, really good. So when it comes to coating this mouse, it's definitely slightly more grippier. I would say it's pretty grippy. I don't really have any issues with it, but I do still feel like the Viper V3 Pro really has a grippier type of mouse for sure. It's the grippiest one. Here, it's definitely noticeably better. I would say the Beast X also feels slightly grippier, I guess. It's not really like that big of a difference. I feel like they're both pretty similar, but I do feel like this one does kind of stay in my hand a little bit more in terms of kind of the texture. However, I think the shape of the mouse, of the Finalmouse, is a little bit better for me. I think the back kind of shape of it really kind of goes really well into my hand, versus I feel like the Beast X kind of sits really on just kind of one side of my hand really, versus both sides of my hand. So that might be a difference for sure. Now, the whole entire thing about this mouse really is its lightweightness. So if we put this on a measuring device, put it on the scale, and it says 38 grams. So this is really light. I feel like this is lighter than other copy I tested. Maybe not by much, maybe by like 1 gram. This mouse is like 40. Is 2 grams really that big a difference? It's really not. But it does technically take the lightweight king, so it is a little bit lighter, which is nice to see. We have the Viper, which is at 56. But yeah, so this is definitely a lightweight mouse. There's no questions about it. The actual like clicking performance of this mouse actually does feel really, really tight. These buttons really are more solid, more tightened up than even my Viper V3 Pro. This one just feels slightly looser, while this one does feel a little tighter. Does that really make much of a difference? Not really. They both perform really well. This does use the mechanical switches, while this uses, optical. But I did notice that, depending on the person and what they want to hear in the switches, the Viper feels a little bit more muted, while this one is a lot more clickier and a little higher pitched type of click. What I noticed about this is the sound of these buttons do kind of vary on my scroll wheel, so you guys can have a kind of a little listen to it. I feel like the scroll wheel, when it's going down, it has like a deeper sound. When it goes up, it has a higher pitched sound. And then I also noticed the front button having more muted sound. And then the back button has a higher pitch. But I'm not sure if that's like how it's made. But I think the buttons, the side buttons are normal. I'm not sure about the kind of scroll wheel, because I don't remember it being so, I guess, clacky. All right, so let's unbox the UltralightX Pro Series Tarik Edition. So this is what it looks like. Aim for greatness. Not really much else is new about it. We have the nice ultralight on the side. Now we can see the actual mouse in its full glory, the Cloud 9 colors. It's pretty cool. And yeah, the mouse looks pretty damn nice. I mean, just look at that. That white and black aesthetic on the inside, it does kind of stand out a little bit more. I feel like the all black look of the original did cover the PCB a little bit more. Versus this one, you can kind of see the black a little bit, but it's really not that bothersome at all. But it's just an interesting thing to make note of. And here we have the puck. Inside we have a black cable that contrasts the kind of, white and blue. So you would expect to see like a white cable, but And then we have the Tarik and then the white kind of side grips. So if you kind of don't like the holes, you can kind of put those on. And that's it. So honestly, overall, actually playing games with this, how does it feel? Honestly, this could be my favorite mouse. It's honestly between these two, but I think the Finalmouse shape is just a little smaller. It fits better in my hand. My hand really gets it to be like almost perfect for my hand if you look at it. I have like a claw grip on it, and the length of the mouse is basically perfect. So this mouse really fits really well for my type of grip style and hand. So this could honestly be like my perfect mouse. It does feel really, really good. And something like the Viper is still really good as well. It does, obviously, the way I hold it, it looks a little too long, but it's just my claw grip, just that's just the way I hold my mouse. So this mouse does just feel a little bit more for my hand size personally. So let's talk about performance. So the performance of this mouse during game, it just feels really good. It's very snappy. I use that 4K. It's honestly nice. The battery life of this is also pretty decent for a small battery. It definitely is longer than the Beast-X, so that's something good. The holes are not as big as the Beast-X, so definitely another thing that I like. It just makes the mouse a little bit more comfortable for sure, and really the mouse really does do well. I played a few games of Valorant with it so far, and I didn't have any issues with kind of it slipping around, gripping it. The buttons feel nice. Now, the other thing I like about this mouse for sure is just the way it feels in my hand. It's because of the smaller holes for sure. On this one, it feels a little bit more comfortable. I feel like the shape of this mouse is also a little better for my hand. I feel like the back doesn't flare out as much, it's not as wide. And it really results in my hand actually kind of holding on to the mouse kind of in both palms of my hand, if that makes any sense. Versus on the Beast-X, it really just kind of shoves into one side of my hand while it kind of just hangs out on the other side of my hand. So that's something I noticed about the shape of the mouse. I think this kind of thinner shape actually is better for the way I grip the mouse on the Finalmouse. So software of this mouse is honestly really good. We have the X panel, which is basically the web-based software. So it's still the same thing. It works the same. It's really great. There's still no 8K on this mouse. So you get this dongle that supports up to 8K, but only 4K is available right now. I know they've been working on that for a while, but there's still no 8K like released in sight versus, something like the Razer already has 8K, today and delivered. And I think the new Beast-X Max or the new Beast-X has an 8K version, but I haven't tried that one. I think just 8K isn't really that big of a difference, but they did advertise it, so it would be nice to see it actually released one day. And then the other thing about this mouse is, it has these nice PTFE feet. They're very small, but I have no issues of it gliding around. I was actually using the mouse pad, was the HyperX Pulsefire. It's a really kind of cheap like mouse pad. It's very mainstream, but somebody was asking me like, what's the slowest mouse pad that I have, or a good slower mouse pad. That's the only one I had. So I was gaming with that and this kind of combo, which was honestly good. I didn't really feel anything. I feel like these lighter mice really just kind of trivializes kind of mouse pads a little bit. They just all feel some sort of fast, I guess, in that type of sense. But the thing about this mouse is it's their new Pro series. It's limited quantity. So if you want to get one, you probably have to wait a few months for the next drop. I think I waited quite a few months for this one to drop. I reviewed the original Finalmouse UltralightX, and that was my friend's model, and that one was really, really good. I liked it so much, I went out and bought the Beast-X simply because I wanted a lightweight mouse. I also wanted to feel a magnesium mouse, and because I simply couldn't buy a Finalmouse because there was no drops at that time. So really the availability of this mouse really is the question, and the problem I think for this mouse. I think there's no doubt about it that this is a good mouse. The question is, can you find it in stock? Can you actually get it, right? That's the true question. And if you can't, you're gonna be like me and end up buying the Beast-X, because this is basically another 40-gram mouse. It's really lightweight, it performs really well, very similar size. So, and then compared to something like the Viper V3 Pro, really I feel like this is a more mainstream mouse. It doesn't really trade everything like the comfort of the mouse, because there's no holes. It doesn't have, it has better durability as well. If you spill stuff on this, you won't really get wet and stuff like that, so it will last longer. And then the other thing about this mouse is it has a bigger battery, so the battery does feel like it lasts a lot longer on the Razer especially. It doesn't really forgo everything in construction for the lightest weight mouse. I feel like the size as well of the Viper is a little bit bigger as well, but it fits better for more people's hands as well, more comfortable. The whole entire grip of this mouse is better. So really, I feel like, the Viper V3 Pro is just a better overall mouse with less kind of trade-offs versus these mouses are really good in the sense of like they kind of trade off for the lightest weight, but they might not have the best battery life, the best comfort and all those type of things because they're trading it off for, the lightest weight. But overall, these are all excellent mouses. It's really, you can perform well on any of these, but really it's just, to me, it's just the availability. Honestly, like that's really the biggest thing about the Finalmouse is you can't get it versus something like the Razer. You can literally walk into like your nearest Best Buy or buy it from Amazon and get it like the next day, which is just kind of insane for such a good mouse, right? So at the end of the day, do I recommend this mouse? Definitely, this is a really good mouse. If you can, get one on the next drop or whatever, it's definitely a good mouse. I definitely don't think you'll regret it. It's definitely, it is a little pricey for sure on the market, but it is honestly a cool mouse. And I do definitely think this is definitely a lot of top picks for people. And yeah, if you guys like this video, please like, subscribe down below. Helps my videos out. I will actually be reviewing some more mouse, some cheaper alternative. I guess Mekis have seen some of the videos, so we're going to be reviewing some like Zalpin. They're kind of like hot swappable switches mouses in the future and some other ones as well. So that will be interesting to see. So you guys definitely should subscribe if you don't want to miss out on that.
My ult's ready.
80 on the one long, hit 80. Actually, could have been
one enemy remaining.
Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and I'll see you guys in the next one.